I'm Jim Ellison. Today I'd like to talk to you about our quicklime long-term soft reline material. This tasteless and odorless silicone material remains permanently soft to provide increased comfort for patients. It is useful to relieve pressure areas, to provide support and cushioning during implant healing, to provide better adhesion for the denture, and more comfort in undercut areas. Now, this self-curing auto mix material can be used either in an indirect or a direct reline procedure. The special quicklime primer provides good adhesion to all of the polymethyl methacrylate acrylic materials. 50 milliliters of quicklime is packaged in a traditional dual cartridge, which you insert into a normal 1-to-1, 2-to-1 impression material gun. The 12 mixing tips in the package ensure proper mixing of the material. Now, in addition to the quicklime primer, you'll need to order the 2-part varnish. And I strongly recommend that you also order the silicone trimming burr. It took me a long time to find a very good trimming burr that will properly trim these soft rubber materials. The key to success, as with most things, begins with proper preparation. Remove any old reline material and grind down all of the denture areas that are to be relined. I'm always trying to remove at least 2 millimeters in order to get back to a fresh acrylic. Cut mechanical retention into the borders of the denture. Here you see a pointed burr being used to create a trench. I also like to use an inverted cone to create undercuts all the way along the borders. Whenever you are using any soft reline material, the borders are the most vulnerable to delamination. Therefore, pay particular attention to this step. Apply a thin, even coating of the primer and let the solvent evaporate completely. That will take about a minute. Be sure to coat all those undercuts you created around the borders. Apply at least one more coat. This material evaporates quickly, so be sure to replace the cap as soon as you're done. Apply quicklime first to the ridges and then to the base of the denture. The total working time, measured from when you begin to squeeze the trigger on the gun, is 1 minute and 45 seconds. If this is to be a direct chairside reline, while controlling the moisture, insert the denture into the mouth no later than 1 minute after starting the application of the quicklime. Direct the patient gently into normal occlusion. The patient should carry out slight swallowing and masticatory movements for 5 minutes with the mouth closed, avoiding excess pressure. Be sure the patient is sitting upright or even slightly leaning forward during this time. The denture can be removed from the mouth after approximately 6 minutes. Wait an additional 10 minutes before disinfection, trimming, and polishing. Remove excess material using sharp scissors or a sharp scalpel. Finish with the silicone trimming burr. These silicone materials are difficult to trim, and that's why I recommend that particular burr. Use it at a high speed with a light touch and you will easily be able to control the trimming of the quicklime. Mix the quicklime varnish, catalyst, and base in a 1-to-1 ratio. Apply the varnish to the trimmed and finished areas and allow it to dry for 5 minutes. To create a nice look and seal, I run the varnish up onto the acrylic a little bit. Instruct the patient not to clean the denture with a brush for the first 24 hours. If this is to be an indirect reline in the laboratory, the doctor will make a functional impression within the denture, and the model will be poured in stone. Now, do not use polyether impression materials for this procedure. You can proceed with the reline using whatever method you normally use. After setting up, say, a reline jig, you would completely remove the impression material and grind the denture, as I mentioned earlier. Next, apply the primer and the quicklime, seat the denture, and close the jig. Let the material set for 30 minutes. It will set slower at room temperature than it does in the mouth. Now, you could reduce that setting time to about 10 minutes if you were to use a pressure pot at about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So you would finish and varnish the denture as I have described earlier. Now, here I have a demonstration model where I did the soft reline using the quicklime. Of course, we covered the entire palette, and as I mentioned earlier, I prepared the edges of the denture very nicely. The varnish blends over and actually makes it a very nice smooth transition from the soft reline material to the acrylic of the denture.